In this video, we shall continue nucleic acids with finer details. We discussed in nucleic acid three components are present: pentose sugar, nitrogenous base, and phosphate group. So, they form a polymer that is called polynucleotide. That is nucleic acid actually. So you see how these are formed. You see, when we talk about the DNA, in DNA or in generally nucleic acids, you see a pentose sugar combined with a nitrogenous base and it forms compound called nucleoside. Similarly, the nucleoside reacts with phosphate group and it forms a nucleotide. So there are 4 types of nucleosides in DNA and 4 types of nucleotides in DNA. You see, when these nucleotides they make a long chain, it is called polynucleotide, and polynucleotide is actually what? That is nucleic acids. It may be RNA or DNA depending on the sugar and nitrogenous bases. Now you see, in case of DNA, when the adenosine sugar reacts with deoxyribose sugar, with the nitrogenous base react with deoxyribose sugar, it forms a nucleoside that is known as deoxyadenosine. When this nucleoside, deoxyadenosine, it is actually what? A nucleoside. When this reacts with a phosphate group and it will form deoxyadenosine monophosphate and it is a nucleotide. Similarly, when the guanosine nitrogenous base reacts with deoxyribose sugar, it forms deoxyguanosine. It is also a nucleoside. When this reacts with phosphate, it forms a deoxyguanosine monophosphate. Similarly, when the nitrogenous base thymine attaches with deoxyribose sugar, it forms a nucleoside called thymidine. And when this attaches with a phosphate group, it forms a nucleotide thymidine monophosphate. Similarly, when the cytosine reacts with deoxyribose sugar, it forms deoxycytidine. It is a nucleoside. And when this reacts with a phosphate, it forms deoxycytidine monophosphate. It is a nucleotide. Now you see, in RNA, since 3 nitrogenous bases are common, but the sugar is different. So when the adenine reacts with ribose sugar, it forms adenosine. When this nucleoside reacts with phosphate, it forms adenosine monophosphate. Now guanosine, when reacts with ribose sugar, it forms guanosine, and when this reacts with phosphate group, guanosine monophosphate. Now when cytidine reacts with ribose sugar, it forms cytidine, and when this reacts with phosphate, it also forms cytidine monophosphate. Now the 4th nitrogenous base is different in RNA. That is what? Uracil. When uracil reacts with ribose sugar, it forms a nucleoside called uridine, and when uridine reacts with a phosphate moiety, it forms uridine monophosphate. See, there are 4 types of nucleosides in DNA and 4 types of nucleotides in DNA. In RNA also, 4 types of nucleosides and 4 types of nucleotides are there. We shall discuss different types of DNA present in different organisms. They are categorized on the number of base pairs. There are other properties also which are beyond the scope of our class. You see, there are 5 types of DNA basically: A DNA, B DNA, C DNA, D DNA, and Z DNA. In A DNA there are 11 base pairs per helix. In B DNA there are 10 base pairs per helix. In cDNA there are 9 base pairs per helix. In ddNA there are 8 base pairs, and in zDNA there are 12 base pairs per helix. But the most commonly studied DNA is bDNA. Generally, which we study, it is bDNA. Now we shall discuss the structure of DNA. Many structure of the DNA were given by different scientists, but the most popular structure is double helix model. This double helix model was given by James Watson and Francis Crick in 1953. This structure of DNA explains most of the property of DNA as genetic material. You know, the DNA was firstly discovered by Frederick Mitchell in 1869. So, according to Watson and Crick, the DNA is a right-handed helical structure. You see, it is going on this way, right-handed helical structures. So, it is like two opposite staircases going up simultaneously. So, the side railing of the staircase are made by sugar and phosphate. It is made up of nucleosides, we can say separately, but they are actually not separate because the sugar is attached on it. Now, the sugar of two chains are attached with each other with hydrogen bonds, and this provides additional stability to the DNA. So, in this DNA structure, you see the nitrogenous base adenine always combined with thymine, and there are two hydrogen bonds between them. Cytosine always combined with guanine, and there are three hydrogen bonds between them. So, one complete turn of a DNA is called one helix. So, each helix has 10 base pairs. Why? Because this is a B type of DNA. Now, the length of each helix is 34 angstrom. Okay. Now, since we know there are 10 base pairs, so the pitch of the DNA is 3.4 angstrom. The distance between two consecutive these stairs is 3.4 angstrom. So now, you see, at the conclusion we can say the DNA is made up of two polynucleotide chains, where the backbone is constituted by sugar phosphate and the bases project inside. Second point, the two chains have antiparallel polarity. It means if one chain has the polarity 5 prime 3 prime, the other has 3 prime 5 prime. Like if this chain is 3 prime 5 prime, this is 5 prime 3 prime. It means if this sugar's third carbon is free and that sugar's fifth carbon is free. Third point, the bases in two strands are paired through hydrogen bonds forming base pairs. Adenine forms two hydrogen bonds with thymine from opposite strand and vice versa. Similarly, guanosine is bonded with cytosine with three hydrogen bonds. So as a result, always a purine comes opposite to a pyrimidine, and this generates approximately uniform distance between the two strands of helix. Next point, the two chains are coiled in a right-handed fashion, and the pitch of helix is 3.4 nanometer or 34 angstrom. There are roughly 10 base pairs in each turn. Consequently, the distance between a base pair in a helix is approximately equal to 0.34 nanometer. Next, the plane of base pair takes over the other in double helix. This is addition to hydrogen bond, confers stability of the helical structure. For amount of purines and pyrimidine, Erwin Chargaff gave a rule in 1909 that is known as Chargaff rule. According to him, in DNA structure, the amount of purine is equal to amount of pyrimidine. What does it mean? A purine always combined with a pyrimidine, so they are in equal amount. So for human being, you see adenine is equal to thymine, cytosine is equal to guanine. So adenine plus cytosine will be equal to thymine plus guanine, and the ratio will be 1. But it is not fixed for all the organisms. In some cases it is different. Like if we talk about the yeast, it is 1.79. Bacteriophage T1 has 1.86, and even in mycoplasma it is 0.40.